Yadier Molina back with the Cardinals in 2024. Apparently, that's a possibility. We've got the latest today on Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, and I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Lou and a lifetime Cardinals fan, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter at JD Sports Radio. You can follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. I want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. You can also find us on YouTube looking for the visual aspect of this show. You can do that on YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment. That way you can interact with us. Hit the notification button so you know when new episodes are posted. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode being brought to you by Sleeper. Swing for the fences on Sleeper Picks, and you can win up to 100 times your money. Download the Sleeper app and use promo code LOCKEDON, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 30 states. Check out Sleeper today. All right, happy Friday the 13th, everybody. Ooh, very spooky, right? I hope you all had a drama-free and a safe Friday the 13th thus far. Let's go ahead and start off with my first hot take of the day, which has to do with the Friday the 13th remake from 2009. Wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. Come at me. Come at me, movie nerds. I didn't think it was that bad. A lot of good-looking people in the movie. Some cool kills. Sam Winchester from Supernatural's in it. What's so bad about it? It's much better than that POS called Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. I was a kid when that came out. Went to the movie theater and saw that. That piece of junk. Awful. Awful. Just brutal. But if you haven't seen the remake of Friday the 13th back from 2009, give it a try. It's not that bad. Anyways, Friday the 13th, today that strange things happen. And actually what we're going to talk about today, what we're going to focus on today was something that happened late on Thursday night, but it really got a lot of attention today, picked up some steam today. And that was the report that the beloved Yadier Molina, our hero, our champion, Yadier Molina, might be coming back to the Cardinals in a coaching capacity in 2024. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We like that. We love Yadi. So here's the story. Here's what we got. Martin Kilcoyne, sports director at Fox 2 in St. Louis. Very respected guy. Been in St. Louis quite a while now. Had some really good interviews with John Mozeliak this summer. Broke some big news with Mo there. So here's what he put out on his segment. It's called the Kilcoyne Opinion, a.k.a. TKO. That's the nickname for it. And here's what he had to say about Yadier Molina. Ollie and the Cardinals in 2022 had Mike Maddox and Skip Schumacher in the dugout, plus Yadi and Albert Pujols to lean on. In 2023, they were all gone. A lot of veteran voices missing. Now, before we continue with this, to be fair, Mo said he wanted to bring Maddox back, but Maddox decided not to return. They did try to bring in Matt Holliday to fill the void, but after agreeing to become the bench coach, he rethought things, stepped down for his personal reasons, wanted to be around the family more, knew that it was going to be tough on him. So that's why he stepped down. Skip, as we know, Skip left and is managing the Marlins now. Heck of a job this year. Maddox's time away from the dugout. That didn't last long. He got talked into coming back and being on Bruce Bochy's staff and is the pitching coach with Texas. Both of these moves worked out nicely with both teams making the playoffs. The Rangers still in it. They got former Cardinals Jordan Montgomery, Chris Stratton, Adolis Garcia, and they're in the ALCS getting ready to take on Houston. But back to Kilcoyne, who went on to say that the Cardinals need to beef up their staff. Now, according to reports, the Cardinals, they got rid of a lot of staff members during COVID, and then they've never really restocked. They've never really filled out a lot of roles. So he says they should beef up their staff, add someone that Ollie respects and would listen to, someone the players respect and listen to, and that Yadi checks that box. Enough so that he hears that there is mutual interest. He says, keep in mind, it wouldn't just be a publicity stunt or a way to just excite a frustrated fan base after this horrible, horrible season we just watched. Molina has managed at the international level, and it's believed that he wants to manage in the big leagues. And this would be a step in that direction. Kilcoyne continued, saying at this point, he doesn't believe the Cardinals have made an offer, and it's not clear if Molina would accept. But the idea of Yadi back to the Cardinals is on the table. Went on to say when he started doing some back and forth with the other anchors there at Fox 2, said that it would be a bench coach role under Ollie. Basically, it would be Ollie's right-hand man, and he would be there to, be able to talk to the players, help with pitchers, etc. I mean, holy smokes. Holy smokes. Talk about dropping a bomb on us, right? But a good one. A good one. Like, usually a bomb means bad news. This is not so much. This is kind of nice because this is something that a ton, and I mean a ton, of Cardinal fans asked for this past season when everything was going so bad. I wish I could go back and had a quarter for every time somebody said, fire Ollie, bring back Yadi as the manager. I would have a lot more money than I have right now. I mean, people were clamoring for the return of Yadier Molina to the dugout. Most wanted him to replace Ollie, as I mentioned, but people just love this guy. And why wouldn't you? I still love him. I still got his uniform up on my wall right there. We love him. We respect him, and we want him back in a Cardinal uniform helping this franchise again. And I'm right there with you guys. The guy was incredible for 20 years, and the drop-off in talent behind the plate, quite evident this past season, despite the best efforts of Wilson Contreras and Andrew Kisner. Yadi is a one-of-a-kind guy. Nobody is replacing Yadi behind the plate as a catcher defensively or with his ability to call a game. Nobody else can do it the way he did it. And to expect someone like Wilson Contreras to do the same things that Yadi did was absurd and bad planning on the part of the Cardinals. Contreras has never been that guy behind the plate. Go talk to Cub fans. They'll tell you. Really good hitter. Not great behind the plate. That was the story. Cardinals should have known that coming into this season, and to expect him to do all the things that Yadi did, that's pretty silly. What Willie was brought in to do was be that offensive weapon that Yadi wasn't over the last couple years of his career, to add some punch to the catcher position, and that's exactly what he provided for the Cardinals. But the Cardinals, I guess, underestimated how difficult it would be to teach Willie how to do things their way, and it resulted in some uncomfortable moments in 23. So we've heard the rumors that the Cardinals were interested in bringing in some extra coaching already this offseason, perhaps even a catching coach to help Wilson for next year, which from all accounts, Willie is on board with, seems more than happy to do it, and wants to do whatever it takes to be ready for 2024. Now, there's a lot of great things about the idea of bringing Yadi back. And there is one thing, though, that I worry about a little bit, okay? We'll get into those next on Locked On Cardinals. The MLB playoffs are down to the final four. Here we go, the championship series. And that means the clock's ticking, guys. The clock is ticking on your chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy baseball. We're running out of time. There's not a whole lot of games left. The playoffs are awesome, obviously. You got tons of stars that still remain in the dance. Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, Corbin Carroll with Arizona. Love him. Yordan Alvarez, Jose Altuve, Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia on the pitching side. You still got Justin Verlander. The two guys in Philly, Wheeler, Nola, Zach Gallen for the D-backs, Jordan Montgomery for Texas. Pick more or less on stats for these stars like, home runs, hits, strikeouts. And you can get up to 100 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right. You can win big. That's the idea. Picking anyone on the Phillies or Texas right now seems to be a good idea. The way that they've been hitting and the way they've been pitching. So jump onto the Sleeper app. Make your picks and win. So simple. So simple. I can't tell you. It's so easy to use. You make your picks and you win. I'm going to throw up some pictures of what the app looks like. Very simple stuff on YouTube. Check it out. They don't want it to be difficult for you. They want you to have fun on the Sleeper app, and that's what it's all about. You having fun and then being a winner. So take your winnings and then you can use that on whatever you want. You got Halloween costumes, you got parties coming up, Christmas. I know it's crazy to talk about, but stores are already throwing ornaments and trees out there for sale. I was like, what? It's not even November yet. And to make things even better for you, a little gift for you, use promo code LOCKEDON and you'll get up to a $100 match in your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Check out Sleeper today. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube as well as on Twitter X anytime you want. Your feedback always welcome and encouraged. All right, the good and the bad, the pros and the cons of Yadier Molina coming back to be a part of this coaching staff in 2024. That's the rumor. That's the story right now. Let's start with the positives. I'm that kind of guy about bringing Yadi back because 95% of this idea I love. And I think most fans are going to love it. Clearly, Yadi is one of the most popular Cardinals of all time. All right, doesn't really need to be said, but the fans would love to see him back in the dugout, in the clubhouse, wearing the uniform. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that during the Adam Wainwright retirement ceremony, it's kind of a big deal when Yadi and Albert walked out on that field together. Crowd went bonkers. It was so cool to see them come back for that. Another thing that he does, he brings a wealth of knowledge to the table in areas that the Cardinals, they could use some added experience, let's be honest, specifically with the catchers and the pitchers. I don't know if Dusty Blake is a good pitching coach. I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I'm not back there. The Cardinals seem to like him, or they wouldn't have hired him in the first place. I've never heard the pitching staff complain about anything that Dusty Blake's been doing. About not being prepared or not helping them. I've never heard anything like that. But having someone like, Yadi to bounce ideas off of, I think that would be a huge boost. I really do, to a staff that has been torn down after 2023. Monty, Flaherty, gone. Wainwright, gone. They got to rebuild this thing correctly in 2024. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll be able to. Wouldn't hurt to have a guy like Yadier Molina's voice back there helping the pitchers as they come in. I think you would agree there. You know what? Yadi being someone the pitchers can work with might also be an added attraction to say, I don't know, free agent pitchers who might be looking for a place to play next year. Maybe they're interested in playing for St. Louis next season. Could Yadi be an incentive to come to St. Louis instead of going somewhere else? Just saying. Another positive, he gets what the organization is trying to do, what they expect out of their players. I'm not saying that the Cardinal way is dead completely or anything, but whatever was going on this past year, it sure did not resemble the type of Cardinal team that we're used to. We didn't see the Cardinals' value in defense and pitching and base running. All of that was pretty bad. Attitude out there on the field, like Yadi could certainly reinstill that Cardinal spirit into the clubhouse and back on the field. I think there's not anybody else that I think could do a better job at doing that. His ability to work with the catchers would be invaluable. Whatever issues Contreras had this past season, he would have Yadi, his favorite player growing up, his hero, right there with him every step of the way to work with him on the mental and physical side of being the Cardinals' everyday catcher. Remember when Contreras first started thinking about coming to St. Louis, it was the jersey that he got from Yadi that he put on. They gave him the idea that, this will be awesome. This will be awesome. And then to have his guy right there with him, helping him along the way, bouncing ideas off of him, getting tips on how to better prepare for that next game and calling a game, defensive drills, whatever it takes to make Wilson a better player. Yadi would be there. Who better to learn from? Same goes with Ivan Herrera. If he's a part of this team next year, who better to tutor a young catcher than Yadier Molina? And as Kilcoyne brought up, being a guy that Ali respects and would listen to would be tremendous as well. I mean, I don't care what job you have. It's always nice. It is always nice to have somebody to look up to. You know, somebody who's got a little bit more experience than you, has been there a little bit longer than you, to talk to and help guide you. Star Wars, you've got Jedis for the Padawans. Karate Kid, you got senseis for the students. In radio and TV in the media world, we've got interns. We've got us who help the interns along the way, help them get their footing in the business and work on things, give them tips. Ali had those figures, like Kilcoyne said, in his world in 2022. They're gone in 2023. And I think we can all agree that that had a negative effect on the team this year. There's a lot of positives about having Yadi as a coach on this staff for next year. Now let's go to the one thing that I think could be an issue if this were to take place. Now, clearly the Cardinals aren't going to make a move like this. They're not going to add somebody to the staff unless they consult with Ali first. He's the manager. But is anyone else worried that bringing Ali in or bringing Yadi in might cause a little bit of a power struggle within the clubhouse at all? It's just something to think about. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm just coming up with things here. Ali's in his last year of his contract, right? Really bad year this year. Knows that this is a make or break season for him and his future with the team. In comes Yadier Molina, the fan favorite, the future Cardinal Hall of Famer, who wants to be a manager, who has the respect of the fans already, who has the respect of all the players and the coaches and the umpires. Don't forget about that. Ali has caught a lot of hell from some of these umpires in the last 2 years, saying that, was it Buckner was the one that was like, you just got here. You can't be arguing with me about stuff. Yadi won't take that crap. And he's the guy, though, if things go wrong again, just saying, if they go wrong like they did in 2023, Yadi would just be sitting there waiting to take over. Like if Ali gets fired midseason, if they're horrible again, who are they going to turn to? Yadi, come on over. Isn't that a little awkward to have like your replacement sitting right there? Like we just saw it as a Packers fan. You just kind of saw it between Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love, where they draft a guy. He's not ready to take over, but he's coming. It's going to happen. The writing's on the wall. Would that be a little weird? Some fans might say, yes, that's great. Good. Quicker you get rid of Ali, the better. And that's fine. You can have your opinion on that. But I know if I was Ali, if I was in his shoes, I would just feel like having Yadi's shadow just kind of right there, looking over your shoulder a little bit like, hey, what are you looking at? Like that would cause me to feel a little bit uneasy. But then again, these guys, they're professionals. They're professionals. And if Ali signs off on this and it's like, yeah, I'm totally cool with that, more power to him. I applaud him for being that strong and not worry about looking over his shoulder to see if Yadi's coming in hot, trying to take the power. I think we can all agree that having former Cardinal legends around is a good thing for this team. Like, I love the fact that a lot of these guys come down to Jupiter for spring training to help assist with things. I've enjoyed over the years when Mark McGuire, we got Willie McGee in the dugout right now, Skip Schumacher, Joe McEwing. We had John Mabry for a little while. Bunch of other guys who have played for this team and for this franchise and won with this team and this franchise in that dugout each day. Like, I love that. Helping guide and mold them. The young guys and the veterans. Like, I think it's great. But I'm curious what your thoughts are on the possibility of Yadi coming back. I love it. I love it as long as it's not going to cause issues with who the lead voice in the clubhouse is. Like, players can't be a mom and dad situation where players start going to Yadi because they don't like what Ali had to say or what Ali's doing. And they're like, Yadi, Ali's doing this, and we don't want to. Like, you can't have it go like that. Ali has to remain the leader in this situation. He's got to be the manager. He's got to be the last decision maker. It can't be a shared thing. But if they can pull that off and everybody can work together, there's a lot of positives to be had here. So leave your thoughts and comments below. We can revisit this in our next episode. Up next, are the Phillies. Are the Phillies the team to beat now? Are they them? Let's talk about the playoffs next on Locked On Cardinals. Modern medical care and treatment are important and should be readily available to you when you need them. And bad things always seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. You ever notice that? It's usually late at night, something silly happens. Like the other day, I had veneers on my teeth, and one of them popped off middle of the night. Middle of the night. I was like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? So I look like a hockey player for a few hours. It was silly. But when it comes to medical care, you've got all kinds of things that get in the way. Pandemics, natural disasters, foreign travel could cut you off from the treatment you need. Jase Medical is your solution. What you do is you fill out their online form, and one of Jase Medical's board certified physicians will review it to determine whether medications are safe and appropriate. Then Jase will send your prescriptions to one of their partner pharmacies where your order gets filled and then gets mailed directly to your home. Like, you don't have to go and get it for yourself. They take care of that for you. Another bonus to Jase Medical is that you can also send your physician a message for answers to treatment-related questions anytime. Anytime. Again, bad things happen at the oddest times. Early in the morning, late at night. They don't happen Monday through Friday between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. like normal business hours. No, they happen. They could happen at any moment, 24/7. Jase is there for you. And everyone should be empowered to care for themselves and their loved ones during the unexpected. And that's why Jase Medical offers the Jase case. They provide 5 life-saving antibiotics for emergency use and gives you the peace of mind so that you're not just hoping that you have access to medication in an emergency. Jase Medical will make sure that you have that medication in hand. And it's simple. They handle everything from the online evaluation to licensed pharmacy medication delivery and ongoing consultation and care. Don't get caught unprepared. Bad idea. Get $20 off on these life-saving antibiotics today from Jase Medical by using my code LOCKEDON at checkout on jasemedical.com. That's my code LOCKEDON at checkout on jasemedical.com. Get $20 off on these life-saving antibiotics. That's JASE medical.com. You know, it was only about a year ago that the Cardinals were 3 outs away, 3 outs from taking game 1 of their wild card series over the Philadelphia Phillies, the same team that we're watching right now in the playoffs. But a disastrous 9th inning put the Phillies on a path that led them to the World Series against Houston. They didn't win, but they got there. So their path went up. The Cardinals went down. Cardinals got sent into a spiral that they still haven't recovered from. We don't know if they're going to fix everything for 2024. We're not sure yet. There's a lot of debate on whether or not they're going to be able to do it and turn things around quick enough that they will be in playoff contention next year. Those same Phillies have now swept the Miami Marlins in the first round, Skip Schumacher and the Marlins, and they just took out the top team in the league during the regular season in the Atlanta Braves in the NLDS, and they kind of did it with ease. Like, it really wasn't much of a fight. I mean, this could have been a sweep if not for that miraculous comeback by the Braves in, what was that, game 2? Wheeler and Nola have been excellent. Castellanos hitting bombs. Former Red, known Jake Woodford hater. Bryce Harper doing his Bryce Harper MVP stuff. You know, they're just really in a zone right now. They are really feeling the vibes. They got the Diamondbacks who are coming off stunning the Dodgers, who just, they have had no pitching left following injuries to their starting rotation. The Julio Urias situation put them in a bind as well. I mean, think about this for a moment. Their hopes of moving on to the playoffs and playing for another day was pinned on Lance Lynn. On Lance Lynn, who is just not that dude anymore. 4 home runs in 1 inning. He's not that dude anymore. And credit to the Diamondbacks. This isn't just because the Dodgers had problems. The Diamondbacks have played really, really good ball. They come out swinging every single game, immediately put LA behind the 8 ball, and they pummeled LA. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman did nothing, kept them in check. I love the story and the fight of the Diamondbacks. I think it's great. Clearly a major underdog here, but shouldn't bother them. They were the underdog against Milwaukee. They were the underdog against the Dodgers. Not going to be any different for them. Despite all of that, though, I think it'll be an entertaining series, but give me the Phillies in 6. And in the American League, you've got a battle of the Texas Titans, if you will, with the defending champion Astros and then the Rangers. 2 teams battled for the AL West all season. Now they're battling to represent the entire American League and the World Series. Now, this one, I think it's going to go 7. I really do. Both teams have stacked lineups, very good pitching. Wish Texas had DeGrom. I wish he was there so that they could really bolster their staff, because Verlander is, in my opinion, above and away the best starting pitcher on either staff. But those would have been cool battles, DeGrom versus Verlander in games 1 and 4 or whatever it would end up being. But I've been pulling for the Rangers this whole offseason, and I'm not going to stop now. They got Monty. They got Chris Stratton. Damn glad to meet you. They got Adolis Garcia. A lot of former Cardinal flavor mixed into that Ranger team. Seager and Semien. I mean, how good are these guys? Monsters on the infield. You've got the youth. Josh Young. Evan Carter is blowing up. So I'm going to take Texas Rangers in 7 over the Houston Astros. There you go. There you go. Let me know what your thoughts are on the championship series down below and on Twitter. I want to see who you got, and I want to know why. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, do me a solid. Give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. Again, we see thousands and thousands of views every episode, and then there's like 150 likes. Like, how does that work out? Where did everybody go? So simple. Hit that like button, because it really, really drives this information out to other Cardinals fans who might be searching around going, I don't know what to listen to. Locked On Cardinals. They could be listening to us and talking to us and discussing Cardinal baseball with us. That's what we want to take place. We're creeping up on 8,000 subscribers. Be kind of cool to get to that before the end of the postseason. So kind of a goal of mine right now. So if you haven't liked and subscribed on the videos and stuff, help me out. Help me. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason. And I will see you next time on Locked On Cardinals. Have a great weekend, everybody.